The way we begin our day has a profound impact on our journey. The first few moments after we wake up shape our feelings, our minds, and even our ability to deal with the challenges that arise later. Many of us start the day in a rush, already immersed in work concerns, household obligations, or even thoughts about what is to come. However, Buddhist practice invites us to begin the day in a different way, with presence, with awareness, and with gratitude. According to Buddhist wisdom, the moment we wake up is a sacred space, a transition between the rest of the night and the start of a new cycle. What happens in that space between sleep and wakefulness is deeply significant. It's not merely an automatic moment, but an opportunity to align ourselves with the present moment. The difference in this early part of our journey is not found in grand gestures, but in the intention behind small acts, those that so often slip by unnoticed. Upon awakening, we don't need to rush our thoughts or jump straight into tasks. On the contrary, Buddhism invites us to take a moment for ourselves, to tune in to the simple act of being alive. One of the most powerful practices we can incorporate upon waking is simply to pause for a moment and breathe mindfully. Instead of grabbing your phone or immediately thinking about work, try dedicating the first few minutes of your day to your body and breath. Breathe deeply without rushing, and feel the air entering and leaving with full awareness. By doing this, you interrupt the whirlwind of thoughts and place yourself in the present moment, that sacred space between sleep and movement. This is more than just breathing. It's an act of presence, self-love, and respect for life. Buddhism teaches us that breath is a powerful tool to bring us back to center, to the present moment. And it's not about forced or technical breathing, but about natural, simple, and deep breaths. When you allow yourself that time to breathe, you are cultivating a clear mind, one that is not dominated by the flurry of thoughts that often invade us as soon as we wake up. This simple act of paying attention to your breath can shift the course of your day, creating a foundation of serenity and balance for what's to come. At the same time, Buddhism invites us to awaken with gratitude. When we open our eyes in the morning, we often take for granted the fact that we're alive. However, life is a precious gift. The simple fact of being here, breathing, with the opportunity of another day, is something that deserves to be celebrated. The moment you allow yourself to feel gratitude for the simple fact of being alive, you shift the way you see the world. There doesn't have to be a big reason to be thankful. It could be as simple as the air filling your lungs, the warmth of your body, or the simple fact that you have the chance to start again. This practice of gratitude doesn't need to be elaborate or accompanied by complicated rituals. Sometimes it's as simple as mentally saying thank you, as a way of honoring the present moment and the gift of life. Buddhism teaches us that true peace comes from acceptance, from the ability to see the beauty of the now, without fixating on what was or what will be. Gratitude is a direct path to inner peace, and it starts with recognizing what is already present in our lives. Over time, gratitude becomes a habit that transforms the way we view the world. As you start to thank for the simple fact of being alive, you realize that there is much to be grateful for, even in the small things. The warm cup of coffee in the morning, the sound of birds, the gentle light of the sun coming through the window. These things are not insignificant. They are part of a larger whole. The secret lies in being present enough to notice these little blessings and appreciate them. The practice of gratitude also helps us cultivate a lighter relationship with the challenges of daily life. If we begin the day with a grateful heart, even if there are difficulties ahead, our perception of them changes. They don't stop being difficult, but we deal with them in a softer, more centered way. And that's liberating. Instead of seeing ourselves as victims of circumstances, we place ourselves as beings capable of navigating life's waters with more serenity and clarity. Another important aspect of beginning the day in Buddhism is the cultivation of a clear intention. The simple act of waking up and asking yourself, "How do I want to live this day?" carries enormous depth. When you do this, you begin to guide your steps with more wisdom and awareness. The intention doesn't have to be something grand or complicated, but it should reflect what you want to bring into the day. It can be something simple like, "Today I choose to be kind to myself and others," or "Today I want to be more present in every moment." A clear intention creates a foundation for your behavior throughout the day, bringing more focus and purpose to every act. Buddhism teaches us that every action begins with an intention. Every choice we make throughout the day, no matter how small, reflects that intention. When we act with a clear intention, we align ourselves more with our true essence and with what really matters. The small decisions, like how to react to something that bothers us or how to treat someone we have difficulty with, become opportunities to practice compassion and wisdom. The intention, therefore, is like an inner compass that guides us along the way. The Buddhist path is not about escaping life, but about fully embracing it with awareness and wisdom. It is about being present in each moment, no matter how mundane it may seem, and recognizing the beauty of the simple acts we often take for granted. One of the most transformative ways to start the day is by cultivating a balanced mindset, which begins the moment we wake up. When we bring awareness to our morning routines, we set the stage for a more harmonious and mindful day. To start the day with a balanced mindset, it's essential to create a sense of calm and focus from the moment we open our eyes. The first thing many of us do when we wake up is to rush straight into our thoughts, thinking about the day ahead, the work waiting for us, or the challenges that lie before us. But Buddhism teaches us that it is during these first few moments that we have the power to reset our minds and emotions. Instead of diving immediately into the busyness of the day, take a few moments to simply be present. You can do this by focusing on your breath. Place your awareness on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. This is a simple but profound practice that helps anchor you in the present moment. The act of breathing with awareness brings you back to yourself, grounding you in the here and now. This practice is a powerful way to settle your mind before it gets pulled in 1,000 different directions. It's not about controlling your thoughts, but about giving yourself a moment of stillness where you can simply exist and be at peace with where you are. Another essential aspect of cultivating balance in the morning is to begin the day with a sense of gratitude. As we open our eyes, we often fail to recognize the miracle that is simply being alive. The very fact that we woke up is a gift in itself. Buddhist teachings remind us that every moment is precious, and the opportunity to begin anew is a cause for deep gratitude. By acknowledging the gift of life in the morning, we change our mindset for the entire day. Gratitude is not just a passive feeling, but an active practice that shifts our attention away from what we don't have to what we do. Start by taking a moment to express gratitude for being alive, for the warmth of your body, and for the fact that you are here, right now. You don't need to have a grand reason to feel thankful. Simply the fact that you woke up and have the opportunity to live another day is enough. This shift in perspective helps you start the day with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude is a powerful tool to reframe your mindset, allowing you to approach the day with a lighter, more positive outlook. As you move through the morning, it's also helpful to remember that life is not about perfection. In Buddhism, there is a concept of wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection. When we wake up in the morning, we might have plans and expectations for how the day will unfold. We might hope for everything to go according to our desires, but life is unpredictable. Embracing imperfection means accepting that things may not always go as planned, and that's okay. We can let go of the need for control and simply allow the day to unfold as it will. This doesn't mean giving up on our goals or responsibilities, but rather cultivating a mindset of flexibility and openness. If we wake up expecting everything to be perfect, we set ourselves up for disappointment when things don't go our way. But if we wake up with an open heart and mind, ready to accept whatever the day brings, we approach life with a sense of ease and fluidity. The key is to remain open to the unexpected and to accept that life is constantly changing. In the Buddhist tradition, mindfulness is not just about sitting in meditation for hours on end. It's about bringing awareness to every moment of our lives. It's about being mindful while we eat, while we work, and even while we interact with others. The morning is no different. By practicing mindfulness when we first wake up, we set the tone for the rest of the day. Mindfulness isn't just about being aware of what we're doing. It's about being fully present in everything we do. Whether you're brushing your teeth, preparing breakfast, or walking to your car, you can bring mindfulness to these simple acts. The key is to do each task with full attention, without letting your mind wander off into worries or distractions. One way to bring mindfulness into your morning routine is to focus on each small task with intention. Instead of rushing through the morning, take your time with each step. Feel the warmth of the water on your skin as you wash your face. Pay attention to the taste of the food as you eat breakfast. Be present in your movements as you get dressed, noticing the textures of your clothes and the way your body feels. Each of these actions, when done with mindfulness, can become a practice in itself, grounding you in the present moment. Another important aspect of cultivating a balanced mindset in the morning is to set a positive intention for the day. This intention doesn't have to be complex. It's simply a guiding principle that can help shape your actions throughout the day. Ask yourself, what do I want to bring into this day? It could be a specific quality, such as kindness, patience, or mindfulness. It could be a broader goal, such as being present in every moment or letting go of expectations. Setting an intention gives you something to focus on and helps you navigate the day with purpose. Buddhism teaches that our actions are deeply influenced by our intentions. When we act with clear intention, we are more likely to stay true to our values and align with our deeper purpose. By setting an intention in the morning, we give ourselves a roadmap for the day. When challenges arise, we can return to our intention and use it as a guide to navigate through difficult moments. This simple practice of setting an intention can help us stay grounded and focused, no matter what the day brings. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel for more insights and wisdom like this. I'd also love to hear from you. What intention will you set for your day tomorrow? Let me know in the comments, and feel free to share this video with someone you think could benefit from it. Let's create a community of mindfulness and gratitude together, where we support one another in living more peaceful and present lives. Before moving on to the next part of this journey, take a moment to reflect on the practices we've shared so far. How does it feel to wake up with presence, gratitude, and intention? Remember, the more we practice, the more natural these habits become. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up each day with an open heart and a clear mind. Let's continue exploring how we can bring more mindfulness and peace into our lives, starting with the very first moments of the day. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is the concept of impermanence, or anicca. This teaching reminds us that everything in life is transient. Nothing stays the same forever. Everything from our thoughts and emotions to the events that happen in our lives is in constant flux. The first step in truly embracing impermanence is learning to let go of expectations. The more we hold tightly to an idea of how things should be, the more we suffer when reality doesn't align with our desires. Starting the day with a deep awareness of impermanence can help us approach life with more flexibility and openness. Often, we wake up with expectations. Expectations about how the day will unfold, about how others should behave, and about how we should feel. These expectations can create tension and frustration when things don't go as planned. But when we begin to recognize that impermanence is the nature of all things, we begin to let go of the need for things to stay a certain way. This awareness helps us to live with less resistance, to move with the flow of life, rather than fighting against it. Think about the moments in your life when things didn't go as planned. Perhaps you had a day that was completely different from what you imagined, or a situation didn't turn out the way you hoped. In those moments, how did you react? Did you resist the change, or did you try to adapt? The more we try to control the outcomes of our lives, the more we suffer. But when we embrace the reality of impermanence, we free ourselves from the burden of needing everything to stay the same. The key is not to give up our desires or ambitions, but to let go of our attachment to how things should be. One powerful practice for cultivating this understanding of impermanence is to reflect on the changing nature of our own bodies and minds. As we wake up in the morning, we can take a moment to observe how our body feels, whether it's rested or tired, light or heavy. We can notice the thoughts that arise and simply observe them without attachment. The more we become aware of the constant changes within ourselves, the more we realize that everything is temporary. Our thoughts, feelings, and even the way we perceive the world are in constant flux. This understanding can bring a sense of peace, knowing that everything, both good and bad, is impermanent. When we wake up with this awareness of impermanence, we begin to let go of the rigid expectations we hold for the day. Instead of demanding that everything unfold according to our plans, we allow ourselves to adapt and flow with whatever comes our way. This mindset creates space for peace as we stop struggling against the natural course of events. It also helps us to let go of perfectionism, which often stems from the desire to control how things should turn out. Perfectionism can create an internal sense of unease, as we constantly strive for something that can never truly be attained. By embracing impermanence, we let go of the need for perfection and open ourselves to the beauty of life as it is. Another way to embrace impermanence in the morning is by reflecting on the temporary nature of our thoughts and emotions. We often wake up with a mind full of thoughts, some positive, some negative, and some simply neutral. Many times we become attached to these thoughts, believing that they define us or that they are permanent. However, Buddhism teaches us that our thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky. They are not permanent, and they don't define who we are. They come and go, and we can choose whether or not to attach ourselves to them. When you wake up, try to observe the thoughts that arise without judgment or attachment. Acknowledge them, but don't identify with them. This practice can be incredibly freeing. It allows you to separate yourself from your thoughts, recognizing that they are not you, they are simply passing phenomena. When we stop identifying with our thoughts, we begin to experience greater peace and freedom. We stop being at the mercy of every passing thought or emotion. Instead, we become the observer, the one who is aware of the thoughts, but not controlled by them. This practice is powerful because it reminds us that we don't have to react to every thought or emotion that arises. Just because a negative thought comes to mind doesn't mean we have to act on it or believe it. By observing our thoughts with awareness, we create a space between the thought and our reaction. This space is where freedom lies. It's where we can choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. Another aspect of letting go of expectations and embracing impermanence is learning to accept the unpredictability of life. We don't know what will happen tomorrow or even in the next hour. The future is uncertain, and this is something we cannot control. However, we can choose how we respond to the unknown. When we approach life with the understanding that we cannot predict or control everything, we begin to let go of the anxiety that comes with trying to control outcomes. This doesn't mean we stop setting goals or working toward our desires, but we do so with the understanding that things may not unfold as we expect, and that's okay. When we let go of the need to control, we free ourselves from the stress and anxiety that come with rigid expectations. We stop trying to force the world to fit our desires, and instead, we begin to move with the flow of life. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent to what happens, but we approach each moment with an open heart and a willingness to accept whatever comes our way. In doing so, we allow ourselves to experience life more fully, without the burden of constantly trying to control it. This practice of letting go of expectations is not about giving up on our dreams or desires, but about learning to detach from the outcome. We can still pursue our goals with passion and commitment, but we do so without attachment to how they should unfold. When we detach from the outcome, we allow ourselves to experience the journey with more ease and less stress. This shift in mindset opens up space for joy, spontaneity, and freedom. Compassion is at the heart of Buddhist practice. It is the ability to feel for others, to understand their suffering, and to act with kindness and empathy. But what often gets overlooked is that before we can truly extend compassion to others, we must first cultivate it for ourselves. Many of us are our harshest critics. We hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, and we can be unforgiving when we fall short. This self-criticism can create a cycle of stress and negativity, making it difficult to experience peace and joy. Starting the day with self-compassion can transform not only our relationship with ourselves, but also our interactions with others. When we treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, we're more likely to extend that same compassion to the people around us. It's not about being perfect, it's about recognizing our humanity with all of our flaws and struggles, and offering ourselves the same love and care that we would give to a dear friend. The Buddhist practice of loving kindness, or metta, is a powerful tool for cultivating compassion. It begins with sending love and well wishes to ourselves. We often think of compassion as something we give to others, but it's important to remember that we must first be kind to ourselves before we can truly offer kindness to others. So, upon waking up in the morning, try taking a few moments to offer yourself words of compassion. You can say to yourself, "May I be at peace. May I be healthy. May I be happy." or any other loving words that resonate with you. These words are not just empty phrases. They are a reminder that you are deserving of love and care, regardless of your perceived flaws or mistakes. The key to self-compassion is not to deny our imperfections or difficulties, but to acknowledge them with kindness. We all have moments of doubt, frustration, or fear. It's part of being human. But instead of judging ourselves for these feelings, we can embrace them with compassion. By doing so, we reduce the internal tension that often comes with self-criticism. We stop fighting against ourselves, and instead, we learn to be gentle and understanding. Another powerful aspect of compassion is extending it to others. The moment we wake up, we can take a moment to send thoughts of kindness to the people in our lives. Think about someone you love, someone who may be struggling, or even someone with whom you have conflict. It doesn't matter whether they are physically near you or not. Compassion knows no bounds. The simple act of wishing someone well can have a profound impact, not only on them but also on you. In Buddhism, compassion is not just an emotional response, it's an action. Compassionate action is about looking beyond our own needs and considering the well-being of others. It is about stepping outside of our own worries and being there for others, even in small ways. We can practice compassionate action throughout the day, but it all begins with the intention. It starts with waking up and deciding that today we will look for ways to show kindness and understanding. Sending thoughts of compassion to others is a powerful way to practice empathy. You don't need to speak to them directly or solve their problems. Simply hold them in your thoughts, wishing them well. You might also think about someone who has hurt you, or someone with whom you are angry. This doesn't mean that you condone their actions, but it does mean that you are releasing the grip that anger or resentment has on your heart. You are freeing yourself from the burden of holding on to negative emotions. The more you practice loving kindness, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you begin to notice how your interactions with others shift. You become more patient, more understanding, and more open to offering a helping hand. The more compassion you cultivate within yourself, the more you have to give to the world. It's a beautiful cycle of giving and receiving, where every act of kindness nurtures your heart and the hearts of others. Compassion is also deeply connected to the practice of forgiveness. As we wake up in the morning, we can take a moment to reflect on the people we may need to forgive. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior. It's about releasing ourselves from the grip of anger and resentment. When we hold on to grudges, we carry that weight with us throughout the day. But when we forgive, we free ourselves to experience peace and freedom. Just as we can offer compassion to others, we must also offer it to ourselves. If there's something you feel guilty about, something you feel ashamed of, remember that you are human and you deserve your own compassion. Forgiveness begins within, and by extending it to ourselves, we create space for healing and peace. One way to incorporate forgiveness into your morning routine is by reflecting on any negative emotions or unresolved feelings you may be holding on to. Think about the people or situations that have hurt you and silently offer them forgiveness. This doesn't mean that what happened was okay, but it means that you are choosing to release the hold that these feelings have over you. By forgiving, you create more room for love, for peace, and for clarity in your heart. Starting the day with compassion, both for yourself and for others, can have a profound impact on your mindset and your relationships. The more you practice compassion, the more you notice how it shifts your interactions. You become more patient, more understanding, and less judgmental. You stop reacting from a place of frustration or anger, and instead, you respond with kindness and openness. It's an ongoing practice that transforms not only the way you relate to others, but also the way you relate to yourself. Buddhism teaches us that mindfulness isn't confined to meditation. It's a way of living, a way of being present in every moment of our lives. It's about bringing awareness to even the simplest of actions and finding meaning in the ordinary. In fact, some of the most profound practices of mindfulness occur not when we are sitting in quiet meditation, but when we are engaged in the everyday activities of life. Every step we take, every movement we make, can become a form of meditation if we approach it with mindfulness and presence. Starting the day with the intention to carry mindfulness throughout all our actions is a powerful way to transform our relationship with the world. Imagine waking up in the morning, but instead of rushing through the motions, You decide to be fully present in everything you do. Whether you're brushing your teeth, making breakfast, or getting dressed, each action can become a practice of mindfulness. The key is to focus on the sensations and experiences of the present moment, without allowing your mind to wander to the past or future. Take brushing your teeth, for example. This is an activity that we often perform on autopilot, without really thinking about it. But when you bring mindfulness to this simple task, you can transform it into a moment of awareness. Feel the toothbrush in your hand, the sensation of the bristles against your teeth, and the taste of the toothpaste. Listen to the sound of the brushing. Notice how your body feels as you perform the action, and bring your full attention to the task at hand. In doing so, you bring presence to a seemingly mundane activity, and in that moment you create a deep sense of connection to your body and to the present. This is true for every aspect of our daily lives: making breakfast, taking a shower, walking from one room to another. Each of these activities offers an opportunity to practice mindfulness. The key is to be aware of your surroundings, your body, and your breath in each moment. When you're preparing a meal, for example, take a moment to really look at the food in front of you. Notice the colors, textures, and smells. Pay attention to the movements of your hands as you chop or stir. By bringing your full attention to these simple tasks, you transform them into acts of mindfulness, and you invite peace and presence into your day. This is where the true power of mindfulness lies, in the everyday moments. It's easy to think that mindfulness requires a quiet, isolated environment, but in reality, we can practice mindfulness wherever we are, regardless of the circumstances. Whether you're at home, at work, or on the go, mindfulness is always available to you. The more you incorporate mindfulness into your daily actions, the more natural it becomes to live with awareness in every moment. Buddhism also teaches us the importance of mindful listening. In our busy lives, it's easy to tune out the people around us, either because we're distracted by our own thoughts or because we're rushing to complete tasks. But true listening requires presence. It means giving the other person your full attention and being open to hearing them, not just with your ears, but with your heart. The next time you find yourself in conversation with someone, practice mindful listening. Rather than thinking about what you're going to say next or getting distracted by other thoughts, focus fully on the other person. Notice their words, their tone, and the emotions behind what they're saying. Try to listen without judgment, without interruption, and without the need to fix anything. Simply listen with the intention of understanding, not responding. This kind of listening deepens our connection with others and creates space for empathy and compassion to arise. Mindfulness also has a transformative effect on our emotions. We often react to situations based on automatic emotional patterns: anger, frustration, anxiety, or sadness. But when we practice mindfulness, we create space between our emotions and our reactions. Instead of being overwhelmed by an emotional response, we can step back, observe the emotion, and choose how to respond. This space between stimulus and response is where freedom lies. We are not slaves to our emotions. We have the ability to choose how we wish to engage with them. For example, let's say you encounter a situation that triggers anger. Instead of immediately reacting in anger, mindfulness allows you to pause, take a breath, and observe the feeling of anger as it arises. You don't suppress it, but you don't let it control you either. You simply notice it and choose your response with clarity. By practicing mindfulness in moments of emotional intensity, we build resilience and emotional intelligence, which allows us to respond with greater wisdom and compassion. Even in the most stressful moments, mindfulness offers us a refuge. When life feels overwhelming, when we feel bombarded by responsibilities and obligations, mindfulness allows us to step back and regain our sense of balance. We can take a deep breath, return to the present moment, and remind ourselves that we don't need to carry the weight of the world all at once. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to approach life with patience and equanimity, even in the face of chaos. To make mindfulness a regular part of your life, begin by choosing one activity each day to practice with full attention. It could be something as simple as drinking a cup of tea or walking down the street. Once you've chosen your activity, commit to being fully present in it. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your attention back to the activity at hand. Over time, you will find that mindfulness becomes more natural, and you will begin to carry that awareness into every aspect of your life. As you practice mindfulness, you may find that it helps to set an intention for the day. You could decide that today, you will focus on being present in each moment, or that you will approach every task with awareness and care. This intention can serve as a guiding light throughout the day, helping you return to the present whenever your mind starts to wander or you become distracted. Mindfulness is a transformative practice that has the power to shift our entire experience of life. By bringing awareness to the smallest details of our daily actions, we create a life that is rich in meaning and presence. The more we practice mindfulness, the more we experience peace, clarity, and connection in every moment. If you're finding these insights valuable, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And please, feel free to share this video with a friend or family member who might benefit from this practice. Let's continue to spread mindfulness and peace to the world around us.